question is, how do we keep the one-to-one meetings from being very repetitive, and how do we keep people engaged in those meetings? So, um, as a there are going to be times where the meetings might seem a little bit repetitive, and it's okay, because if the true intent of a one-to-one is to serve as a coach who's working to bring out the best in team members, just the fact that you're checking in with that intention says a lot, and it adds value, and strengthens the relationship that you have with your team members. And there might be times, I know for me personally, there have been times where I've had one-to-one meetings where really the only thing we talk about is something that's going on in somebody's personal life, and they just want to vent about it and get it off their chest, and maybe even ask for some guidance or something like that. Um, and we might think at first, well, what does that have to do with work? It doesn't seem like that's related to what we're doing at work. And just one thing I would encourage you to remember is that everyone, unless I'm mistaken here, everyone on your team is a human being, right? We're not, no one on your team yet is a robot with artificial intelligence, running their systems. So, we're dealing with human beings, and when a human being is thriving away from work, they're going to be more likely to thrive at work and be an engaged team member. So, we're bringing a whole person to work, and time invested in helping a person with things that even seem like might not have anything to do with work, in my view, is a really powerful investment. Um, Not only for the fact that if you help them to thrive away from work, you're going to have a more engaged employee at work, a happier, more effective employee at work. But again, that the fact that you're willing to spend 15 to 20 minutes talking with someone about something that has nothing to do with work, some issue that they've brought up away from work, really says a lot about how much you care. And that is the most powerful driver of employee engagement that I know of, perhaps tied with feeling like you're making an impact, you're making a positive difference in the lives of others. So just, kind of before we get into some of the details, I did just want to mention that there are going to be times, and this happens often, where um, there isn't much that somebody has to say. They don't come with an agenda. Maybe you don't have an agenda. And so the question is just, hey, is there anything that I could be doing to help you better thrive at work or away from work? And that it may be that there's nothing that the person has to talk about, and that's fine. You might just have a quick 5-10 minute conversation. Ask them, you could always have some kind of backup questions, like, what did you enjoy most at work over the last week? You want to ask questions that not only would give you some type of insight, but that would also, that it's going to get them talking and get them engaged. So I always like to ask, if there's nothing else, what did you enjoy doing over the last week or so? What was there anything that caused you frustration? And there can be some really good gold there. If you ask about somebody's what made them frustrated at work, it could be a process that needs to be improved. It could be a relationship with a coworker that could be improved. So I always like to have some backup questions, ready to go in case there isn't anything that you have that's kind of fits like a normal agenda. But also, there's different, every meeting doesn't have to be the same format. And I think you're kind of early on in the training or in the program so far. So you'll find that there's more and more questions that to ask, but just to give you a couple ideas for now, for instance, when you start asking team members about their goals, you could have one-to-one meeting a quarter where it's checking in on their goals for the year, personal and professional goals. You could have a one-to-one from time to time where you're specifically asking for ideas for process improvement, or you could have one-to-one probably about every quarter, I would suggest, that's talking just about their careers and where they want to go and how you can help them get there. So I think you'll find that, you don't have to have the same format every meeting. It could be that in any given month, there's 3 or 4 different formats, but even if 3 out of 4 of them are the same, and it's just once a quarter where you talk about career planning, once a quarter where you talk about their annual goals, maybe once a month you could talk about monthly work-related goals and what they need from you to help them hit those goals. Um, so at a minimum, you could have at least 2 different formats every month where if you're having one-to-one meeting every week, which I believe you are. So there's just a few ideas, but just to come back to the backup, even if it's just the normal questions that you typically ask, and they don't have much to offer. Um, those questions about what can I do to help you thrive at work or away from work, even if there's nothing, that can add a lot of value. Um, and also, there is one other question I forgot to mention earlier that can be a great backup question. In fact, this might be one you want to ask every week if you can fit it in, where you could ask, what am I doing that you would like me to do less of? You know, so basically you're asking, it's kind of a polite way of saying like, hey, what am I doing that you think I could improve? But it's a little bit softer, a little bit easier for them to answer. And then likewise, you could ask, what are some things that I'm doing that you'd like me to do more of? So that's not a bad kind of backup question. In fact, it's a pretty good question. In fact, I think there's I forget the guy's name. He used to be a people ops professional at Google, and that was something that they asked every week of every employee, and the people that he coached to do this.